Okay, so let's offer this presentation for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Let's do the Mangala Pranam. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Bhagavatam Dadati Swapadantam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Rupam Sakachadam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sujitam Sadhutam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Chaitam Shrato Pango Mama Manda Matirgati Vatsarvasvapan Boja Radha Madana Mohana Divya Pindaryo Kalpadumadaha Srimat Ratnagaro Simhasana Sriman Radha Sri Govinda Deva Prestadivi Sevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsivata Statastita Karsham Veno Svaner Gopir Gopinata Shri Stunaha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Basadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyamadi Paschatya Deshatarine Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nastapradeshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavate Nashiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. O expert and thoughtful man, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanaಭಾಯ Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangri Tvai me Ananda Vishaya Matir Madhupati Asakrit Ratim Tange Pankam Mudhanti. O Lord of sweetness, as the Ganga forever flows to the sea without hindrance. Let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vigna Shubhasya Mukham Karoti Vachalam Ambam Langayatim Girim Yakripa Tamam Vande Sri Guru Dimitarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Vishwaram. Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome back to our Srimad Bhagavatam session. So it was a blissful 2 weeks holiday period for most of us here. And also, I had the opportunity to go to Ahobilam and all the different temples. The nine Narasimha temples in Ahobilam, followed by the 5 Narasimha temples along the Krishna River, and then also a number of ISKCON temples, which is more important as far as we are concerned. And also, some other temples. I think altogether 20 temples we visited in just 10 days. Very hectic schedule, but very, very blissful with wonderful association. So anyway, along the days, I will try to share some of the understanding and the realizations for the different temples that I find the time. But for today, let's focus on the Srimad Bhagavatam session. So, if you remember, we have just finished chapter 16. Chapter 16 was how Parikshit received the age of Kali. So, just to give you a reminder of what had transcribed, what has happened previously, right? So, we'll just do a quick recap. How Parikshit received the age of Kali. This chapter began by Parikshit Maharaj, by introducing Parikshit Maharaj as the emperor of the world. He is now the emperor of the world. The Pandavas have already renounced the world and they have left and disappeared together with Lord Krishna eventually to follow him. And they have established Parikshit Maharaj as the emperor of the entire world, the successor. And Parikshit Maharaj, by the advice of the different sages, he carried out the Rajasuya Yajna 3 times. And in this way, he established firmly his dominion over the entire earth. And it was a great kingdom. It was a kingdom of a Raja Rishi, something which was previously experienced by the denizens under the leadership of Yudhishthira Maharaj. But it was a very short reign under Yudhishthira Maharaj, because right after the Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj reigned for just a couple of years, I think, and then Lord Krishna already wound up his pastimes, and the Pandavas were not interested in the dominion of the earth, even though it eclipsed the majesty of the heavenly planets. Even so, the Pandavas very easily renounced the entire material creation just to follow Lord Krishna wherever he was going. So, but they were not irresponsible because they were kings. So therefore, they established Parikshit Maharaj, their grandson, Arjuna's grandson, to be precise, but basically adopted by all the Pandavas. And Parikshit Maharaj was just like Yudhishthira Maharaj, and it was described the wonderful glories of Parikshit Maharaj in previous sessions. Anyway, Parikshit Maharaj, he happened to notice that the kingdom had some symptoms of degradation. Suddenly, the kingdom wasn't so great. He noticed a lot of bad omens and signs and degradation of the world in terms of weather, in terms of resources, in terms of the people, in terms of the character, morality. There seems to be some anomaly and degradation. So Parikshit Maharaj realized, not being an idle king, he realized that there was something amiss in the world. Obviously, he knows Krishna is no longer present, and this is the onstage of Kali. So, even though he knew Kali Yuga was about to come, but being a king in responsible position of the world, he did not want to allow that to happen. So, as far as he was able, he would uphold Dharma. So, therefore, immediately he went into his chariot. He brought about his weapons and immediately he left, searching for signs of degradation so he can check it wherever he comes across. So in this way, he was traversing all over the country, and in this way, he also met various people, and all those various people, various kings in other places, all of them glorified Parikshit Maharaja's lineage, the Pandavas. They were telling many stories about the pastimes of Pandavas and Krishna, and in this way, Parikshit Maharaj was extremely happy and blissful. And in this way, he was traveling from one country to another country. And then he came across a very strange scene by the river bank of the Saraswati River. What he saw was a scene which he could not imagine, and it would not have happened anywhere amongst his kingdom. But that scene was a very shocking scene to him. So what was happening was a bull which was standing only on one leg because the other three legs were broken and bleeding. Why? Because this bull, while standing on one leg, was crying, and next to it was a cow, and this cow was also crying. In the cow's misery and lamentation was extremely poignant that it touched the heart so much of Parikshit Maharaj. As if, the greatest, they say the greatest sorrow is the sorrow of a mother losing her child. And amongst all mothers, the love of the mother of the cow for its own child is the greatest. The mother cow has the greatest love for its calf amongst all other living beings on earth. And to lose that calf is the greatest sorrow and misery for the cow amongst all any living entities in this world. And it was noted by Parikshit Maharaj that the grief exhibited by this cow was just like that, as if the calf was gone. So both the cows, the bull and the cow, were crying and in very pathetic, miserable state. And next to it was a very strange looking person. This person was dressed like a king, very opulent and very majestic, but he looks like a Shudra. And by the bodily features and by his movement of his eyes and all that, Parikshit Maharaj can understand that this person is a Shudra dressed like a king. And it was confirmed further when he saw that this person was beating the legs of the bull and causing misery to the bull and the cow. So only someone of a very low character would do this. So Parikshit Maharaj was shocked, and this is the situation that happened. And this story was being recounted by Sutta Goswami to the sages of Naimisaranya forest, headed by Saunaka Rishi. And when he said this was the situation that happened. And then immediately he said, Parikshit Maharaj, give due punishment to the perpetrator, who was none other than the personified form of Kali. The Kali Yuga, personification of the Kali Yuga, took this form, and this was the person. And the sages of Naimisaranya were very shocked. They said, what, punished only? Such a person should be put to death. Why punished only? And then they inquired from Sutta Goswami, please tell us more, only if it is in connection with Lord Krishna and his devotees. Only if it is in connection with his pastimes and Lila. So that was in the previous sessions, in the previous chapter. So we can understand the focus of the sages. And of course, Sutta Goswami would not have also mentioned this particular point if it wasn't in connection with the Lord's pastimes. So therefore, happily, he started to narrate what was happening. So he started from the beginning. So he said that how it so happened that Dharma, personification of religion, took a form of a bull. And this bull was walking along only on one leg. The other three legs were broken, and he was being harassed by this personified person, the Shudra king, who was none other than the Kali personification. And this bull, as he was wandering around the earth, hobbling about in misery, he came across the cow. This cow was none other than the personification of Mother Earth, Bhuma Devi, Dharani, Prithvi. So she was also crying, and she was lamenting and extremely terribly she was lamenting as if she lost her calf. And then the bull, although his situation wasn't very great either, but out of compassion, he came and spoke to the cow and asked the cow various questions. So the bull asked the cow, basically, why are you crying? Why are you lamenting? And he started asking various reasons. Are you lamenting because of various reasons? So we will just quickly recap them. So basically, he asked, are you lamenting because you are being exploited? So, uh, because not only you, the earth is being exploited, and not only the earth, naturally the cows and every other living creature is being exploited by unscrupulous people. Are you lamenting for this state, or are you lamenting because of the degradation of dharma, which is the cause of the exploitation of the earth? So, in other words, are you lamenting for my state, my situation? Bull is asking the cow, looking at me, are you lamenting my situation? Because I'm hobbling about on one leg, being harassed in this way. So the degradation, so basically, uh, in this is all very nice conversation, which talks about the degradation of Kali Yuga. How Kali Yuga causes all this, all good qualities to be lost. It begins with degradation of dharma, and degradation of dharma, that means when dharma is no longer upheld, just like the dharma stands on four legs, right? Satyam, Saucham, Tapa, and Satyam, Saucham, Tapa, and Daya, mercy. So Satyam is truthfulness, Saucham is purity or cleanliness, Tapa is austerities, and Daya is mercy. So these four legs, and three of those legs were already broken down in Kali Yuga. Only Satyam, the leg of truthfulness alone was standing. Everything else was gone. And truthfulness also will not stand long. It's also being attacked. There is still truthfulness in Kali Yuga, but it is hidden. It is being attacked. It is being manipulated. But we have to be careful to search for the truth, right? So, for this is the situation of dharma. And when dharma or religiosity is being destroyed in this way, naturally the earth will become exploited. The earth and all living entities will be exploited to the maximum, and will result in stopping of sacrificial cycle, because nobody is interested in religiosity. Everybody wants quick sense gratification. Quick, I want something, let me call grab. I want this, let me do this. Nobody is interested in the cycle of sacrifice. And because sacrifices are stopped, what will that result? It will result in scarcity, right? In Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, Krishna says, right, due to sacrifices, we get rain and the demigods are pleased, and the necessity is being supplied by the demigods by the order of the Lord. So this is the nature of how the world works. The material world works based on sacrifice. So when sacrifice is stopped, there will naturally be scarcity of everything, and resources and famine and drought. And when resources are scarce, what will happen? You can see that in some countries. When some country, when there is a disaster that strikes some country, like in US, right? When a typhoon or a tornado or anything like that strikes their country, you can see what happens. Immediately, people will turn into a mob. They will go into a rampage, and they will simply uh, attack people and attack stores, and they steal. They start looting whatever it is. They break into stores and start looting things. They don't care about what other people or anything. They just care for themselves. Selfish. Most countries in this world happens that way. Not so much in the eastern countries. There was once a situation when, some years ago, there was tsunami in Japan. So when that happened, people were surprised that the same phenomenon which is noted in the West did not happen in Japan. Though there was scarcity, the people in Japan did not go about looting, breaking into shops or stealing. They were still trying to, as much as possible, be lawful. So that culture is still there, little in the eastern parts of the world, due to the culture of religion. All the Eastern religions basically stem from India, right? The Vedic culture. From Vedic culture, Buddhism and everything else spread into China, into Japan, into many other places in the world, and eventually the West. Anyway, the point is, what happens when scarcity occurs? Strong or the bullies will take advantage of the weak. And who are the weakest society? The weakest in society are the unprotected women and children. So they will lose their protection and they will get further exploited. And why all this happens? This all happens because of the degradation of society. Degradation of society begins with the fall of the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas have fallen down. And from when the Brahmanas, which are like the head of society, the head is important in a human body because the head is able to think, it's able to understand what is right, what is not right. It's able to see vision so that it knows which direction to go. So when the and the Brahmanas are guided by God, by the word of God, revelations given by the Lord. And when the head is cut off, then the body becomes blind, dumb, and simply walks towards the precipice where it will fall down and die. So when the head of society, the Brahmanas, are fallen, when they are corrupted, you can only expect the rest of the body to become corrupted, and leading all of them, all of society, collapse of Varnashram occurs, and this collapse of Varnashram will lead to lost civilization. Entire civilization will plunge into disaster and towards hell. And the cycle continues. So we heard about all these things in the previous session, right? This was what the bull was asking the cow. So, and the cow, in response, Dharani the cow, confirmed all of these statements of the bull of Dharma. We heard cow answered, yes, I am lamenting because of the degradation of Dharma, because of your situation, falling about in just one leg. Yes, I am lamenting because of the exploitation of the cow and the earth and Dharma and religiosity. And yes, I am lamenting because the sacrificial cycle will stop. And I'm worried for what will happen to the people of the earth. Yes, I am crying my tears. Earth is crying due to the scarcity that is happening on the face of the earth, due to the actions of humanity at large. Yes, she is crying due to thinking about all the unprotected women and children who would go through horrendous exploitation in the dark age of Kali and become lost and shelter of adharma in various ways simply because they have no option and no choice. So all of those is shedding tears. And to the fall of the Brahmanas who were supposed to guide society, yes, it is the cause of all of this fall down. I am shedding tears for that. And yes, due to the collapse of the Varnashram of people at large, of civilization which is lost, I am shedding my tears. And mainly also I'm shedding tears because when the civilization is lost, focus becomes not God consciousness, not righteousness, not liberation, not uh, Krishna prema or anything. Their focus will be simply advancement of foolishness. This will be the focus of society. Society will be hell bent and will use all of their energy simply towards advancement of foolishness. So all of this we already discussed in the previous section, right? So this is what is lamenting for. And lost civilization ensues because of this. So, right? And finally, Dharma also asks, really, really, I think the real reason you're lamenting is because you're bereft of Krishna's presence, right? And Dharani replies, yes, his lotus feet used to walk and traverse all over my surface. In ecstasy, hairs of my body, which is the grass growing on the earth, would stand still and in ecstasy. And that personality, and then she begins to glorify Lord Krishna in different ways. So the Lord is dear to Vishnu. The Lord is dear to so many devatas, and how the qualities of the Lord are so wondrous. In this way, Mother Earth, Dharani, glorifies the Lord. Yes, I'm bereft of Krishna's presence. Yes, that is correct. Such situation, and the bull will ask further, I think you are a cow, you are Sunabi, you are Mother Earth, you are Lakshmi's incarnation, you are one of the Shaktis of the Lord. I think your fortune must be stolen by time only. Now is the time of Kali. Due to the inevitable march of time, which is unstoppable, right? Now is the time of Kali. I think your fortune has been stolen by time. And Dharani confirms this. Yes, personality of Godhead who walked and traversed upon the earth. Gives so much pleasure to the cows, to the senses, to the sadhus, and his presence made the earth even more glorified than any other planet in the 14 planetary systems of this material universe. Such a person is not here anymore. I have lost that person. So in this way, I am lamenting. So, what we could understand previously, actually, Krishna consciousness is there. Will not be any scarcity in the world. Krishna consciousness is actually the focus, the focal point. Krishna's presence is there. There would not be degradation of dharma, there would not be degradation of society. Women and children will be protected, religiosity will take shelter, earth is glorified. In this way, none of this, all of this lacking simply because of Krishna's presence. So, we should bring back Krishna's presence into the earth. And that's why in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadev Goswami mentions when Krishna left the world, he came back to the world in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. He came back in the form of the chanting of his holy names. So as much as we embrace Srimad Bhagavatam in our lives, and as much as we embrace the chanting of the holy names in our lives, to that extent, Krishna is again present in our lives. And the more of us do this, the earth becomes again golden, right? It enters into a golden age. So that is the real purpose that Prabhupada established ISKCON, to spread this Bhagavatam culture and the chanting of the Mahamantra. Tina and Bhagavatam, these are the two solutions of the problems of everyone, every living being in this world. So now coming to chapter 17, right? Third, the conversation between Dharma and Dharani. Now we will see what happens, because this chapter ended with Parikshit Maharaj arriving at the scene. So Parikshit Maharaj now comes to the banks of the river Saraswati, where this conversation is happening and where the scene of Ali attacking the bull and the cow is taking place. So what happens next? Chapter 17, Punishment and Reward of Kali. So this is part 1, section 61. And it begins with Sutta Goswami continuing the narration to the sages of Naimisaranya, headed by Saunaka Rishi. Sutta Vacha. After reaching that place, Maharaj Parikshit observed. Observed what? Observed that a lower caste Shudra, dressed like a king, was beating a cow and a bull with a club as if had no owner. So, and then what happened? This is the setting of the crime scene. So this part talks about what happened, right? And Maharaj and Sutta Goswami continues. The bull was white as a white lotus flower. Isn't that a perfect description for religiosity, for dharma? Because dharma is pure. Dharma is coming from the Lord. The Lord is establishing what is right, what is righteousness. So the bull, which represents Dharma, none other than the personality of religion itself, is fitting that it is as white as the lotus flower. And is the white lotus flower. And this, but irony was the bull was terrified, the Shudra who was beating him. And because he was so terrified, he was standing on one leg because his other legs were broken, and he was trembling and urinating. So this was the situation of Dharma. So we can understand from this what is the situation of Dharma or religiosity will be in the age of Kali. So this is what will happen. And remember, Kali Yuga has 432,000 years, and we have only spent about 5,000 years plus since the disappearance of Lord Krishna. So Kali Yuga is becoming darker and darker and darker. It's going to get very dark. It's going to get extremely dark. But in that darkness, for the next 10,000 years, starting from 500 years ago, from the beginning of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent up to the next 10,000 years, there will be a bubble of light. It will be a golden period in the age of darkness for the next 10,000 years. And after that, the bubble of light will almost disappear. And it will, for the next 422,000 years, it will be abject darkness. And we do not want to take birth again during this time. If we think the situation is bad now, we do not want to take birth during that time. So let us take the candle of hope, the beacon of light, which has been given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of his costless mercy, and take up this process of Krishna consciousness and exit this world and go back to the lotus feet of the Lord in this lifetime itself. Let us not take the risk of taking any other lifetime. So this is the nature. This is will not be. Do not expect fairness. Do not expect religiosity. Everything will be corrupted. Right? We will hear more. What says the principles of religion, which are all spotlessly white, like the white lotus flower, will be attacked by the uncultured Shudra population of the age. That's the population. The majority of the population of this earth is Varna Shankara, which is described by Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. He feared for the Varna Shankara population, unwanted progeny which is simply resultant like cats and dogs meeting, and they have children without having any culture, with the main priority of simply exploiting other people and everything simply for their own sense gratification. And if at all there is any semblance of culture or any semblance of religiosity, it is simply a means for them to get what they want. It is a sham. So that is the problem. Will be attacked by the uncultured Shudra population of the age. But we are all Shudras. But we don't have to remain Shudra. We are Shudra population because we are born in darkness. Oh, Ajnana Timirantasya, born in abject darkness. But by the grace of the Lord, who has sent his pure devotees, our eyes can be opened. By the grace of the Lord, through his scriptures, through his devotees, we can open our eyes and we do not have to remain Shudra. So that Shudra population can be transformed into Brahmanas. That is the mission of ISKCON, right? To convert, not kill the demons of Kali Yuga, because too many demons, everybody is a demon almost. Cannot kill everybody. We can convert them, we can change them with the torchlight of knowledge. Jnana deepina bhashvataha. With the torchlight of knowledge, Ajnana jam tamaha. Hence darkness of ignorance can be destroyed. Nasayami atma bhavasto. And the heart and the atma can be revealed. Right? Simply by the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Yuga Dharma, right? We may be descendants of Brahmana or Kshatriya forefathers. These Shudra populations, they may be descendants of Brahmana or Kshatriya forefathers, But in the age of Kali, for want of sufficient education and culture of Vedic wisdom, such a Shudra-like population defy. So how do we understand a Shudra person, a Shudra population? Such a person will defy the principles of religion set forth by the Shastra. Will go against religion. Religious Shastra will say, don't eat, don't do this, don't do that. They will opposite to that. So, don't have children without getting married. In Kali Yuga, there's a popular Tamil song. How it goes? Kalyana Pandi, Kettikuva, illa Pettikittu Kalyana Pannalama. Something like that. That's one song I heard somewhere. So, and that is being sung and danced by people in this world. So, what is religion is all upside down, and it's exploited also. So, and persons who are religiously endowed will be terrified by such men. That will be the nature. They will declare themselves as adherents of no religious principles. So atheism is on the rise. In many in many countries where traditional religion is Christianity, you will just 5 years ago, 5 years ago, Christianity, they did a census and they found what many of them were Christians. But now the census revealed that many of them are atheists, no longer Christians also. Same thing is happening, everywhere around the world. People are abandoning simply for chasing after so-called material prosperity, power, position. Money is the new god. They will declare themselves as adherents of no religious principles, and many isms and cults will spring up in Kali Yuga only to kill the spotless bull of religion. So many so-called religions, this ism, this cult, that cult will come, which actually will kill further the principles of religion. So the result is people will become disgusted with even religion. Oh, why are you in the name of religion doing such horrible things? So this is what's happening. We can see all, right? So previously, this is what happened to Jesus Christ also. Jesus Christ came, he tried to establish religiosity, but what the Jews did, they were very envious. They were very afraid of losing their power of the empire, right? The Roman Empire, which was controlled a little by the Jews. So they made a plot and they tried to they killed him. And after killing him, they used the symbol of the cross, unify the people in their empire and put them under their power. So that's, at the time of Christianity, when Jesus was present, the sign of the cross was unheard of. Nobody knew about the sign of the cross. Jesus used other secret symbols like the sign of a fish. But after Jesus died, Christianity became known as the cross, symbol of the cross, which was used to crucify their guru. So this is the irony, what is happening in this world. Anyway, so Sutta Goswami continues. Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, Dharma Dugham. So cow is a very special animal. It's not just an animal, it's a symbol of religiosity. The bull is religion personified, and the milk of the cow, which comes from the mother cow, it actually nourishes the spirit of religiosity in people who drink the milk of the cow. So this will be seen later, right? Anyway, this is what it means. The cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her. What is this? What is it they draw from the cow? Why is the cow important? Why is the cow beneficial? Because it is the mother of religiosity. Religiosity is drawn from her. What do we draw from her? We draw from her milk, correct? So this milk is further converted to yogurt and further converted to ghee. And this ghee is used, this yogurt, milk, ghee, everything is used for the worship of the Lord. And especially ghee is used for yagyas, sacrifices. So therefore, the cow is extremely special. It was now being rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by a Shudra. So not only the bull's legs, not only religiosity was being beaten, and cow is also being exploited. The earth currently, as we know, is being raped by the capitalist, industrialist, and the governments. Right? Do we not see that happening? And in retaliation, in horrible retaliation, we see so many disasters happening because of collective karma. This is what happens when we have Shudra or even lower than Shudra leadership. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass. There was some minced grass. I'm particularly mentioning this because all that a cow needs just grass, not anything else. Not pongal, not jackfruit, not banana. These things are special, it's nice, everything. But what the cow needs is really grass. And it gives first class milk simply by grazing the grass. You do not have to spend money or hundreds of dollars or whatever ringgits to give food to the cow. Right? This needs to be grazed. So Prabhupada will telling in this purport, milking the cow means drawing the principles of religion in a liquid form. The great rishis and munis live only on milk. So the importance of milk is highlighted, right? Milk is the essence of religion. Prabhupada, in other places, not here in this part, but in other places, Prabhupada has mentioned that one should drink milk because drinking milk helps to cultivate the finer tissues in the brain. There are gross tissues and there are fine tissues. So milk is ultimately in the mode of goodness. When we eat food stuff which is in the mode of goodness, our finer tissues, for us to understand spirituality and for us to further understand, our memory becomes, Ayurveda glorifies milk like anything. It increases memory, it increases so many things, and not just gross things, it increases morality also. So by drinking milk, it is described in the scriptures, one's morality increases. He becomes able to understand scripture better. Concepts presented in the scripture is not difficult for somebody to understand when one takes to this kind of food stuff. So therefore, this is very important. But there is a way to drink milk also, right? It should always be drunk hot. It should never be drunk cold, right? And it should be fresh as far as possible, and it should be offered to the Lord, right? So there is a way to drink milk. There is a method. If you drink it otherwise, then it can cause problem. Srila Sukadev Goswami would go to a householder while he was milking a cow, and he would simply take a little quantity of it for substitution. Even 50 years ago, no one would deprive a sadhu of a quart or two of milk, and every householder would give milk like water. Why? Because every householder at the time, at least in India, even in the West, they used to have cows in their houses. Every household would at least keep one milk cow with a calf, right? In their house barn, there would be a barn, and there would be at least one. And in this way, they would get ample supply of milk, would worship the cow. Cow is very well taken care of, and the calf is protected. The cow is protected, and in this way, cow is happy, and it produces so much and so much of milk. And this milk is used for sustenance, converted into so many wonderful food stuff, and there was no problem. People used to live happily. Prabhupada says, right, take the rice and the skin, you give to the cow. Dal, you take the grain, and the skin you give to the cow. And fruit, you take the fruit, and simply the skin you give to the cow. He will give you milk. The cow doesn't need much support. It can simply subsist with grass. And when whatever uh, food stuff which is thrown away, like the husk of the rice, the husk of various plants, skin of fruits and vegetables, the peel and all of that the cow will eat and gains nutrition out of it, and it's able to provide lots of milk. So there is no special need for a special feed for the cow. This is how nature presented it. But unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, we have situations where, simply the capitalists have taken control of the cow. They have exploited the cow. They have taken the cow and they have put it in close quarters in horrible living environment. They have, injected them with all kinds of chemicals. And what's worse, they gave them artificial food stuff made out of chemicals and stuff. And even what's worse, they gave them, what they used to do? The cows give milk. What about the bulls? The bulls which are born, young itself, they are killed. And some of the bulls, the young bull calves which are killed, are given, are marketed as veal flesh. Veal flesh is a very tender type of beef, which is prized for its tenderness. And this is what's happening. But not all of it. Some of the parts of the cow, and other animals and other things which are not sold, it's not wasted. This, the scientists have come up with different horrible ways, advancement of foolishness. They have come up with horrible, barbaric ways of how to convert these waste products, the meat waste products from the meat industry. They've taken it, processed it, combined it with some of the waste products of the agriculture industry, and they've made it into some kind of meal, like cornflakes, some kind of meal, which is made up of their own, which is made up of flesh, beef flesh. And that beef flesh is fed back to the cow. And this cow is forced to eat it. So, as a result, horrible diseases came from the cow. Mad cow disease. The cow went mad after being given this kind of meals. So mad cow disease comes and human beings suffer from it. The cycle of horror just continues. But in Kali Yuga, the calves are separated from the cows as early as possible for purposes which may not be mentioned in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada mentions that. The cow stands with tears in her eyes. Shudra milkman draws milk from the cow artificially. And when there is no milk, the cow is sent to be slaughtered. These greatly sinful acts are responsible for all the troubles in present society. This is the major cause of war, of famine, of drought, of deaths, of misery in human society. The cycle of karma will come back, will revisit that society, will revisit government, will revisit those people who put those governments in power, and will revisit those community who continue this kind of situations. Right? It'll happen. In the material world, human society gives all protection to the human being, but there is no law to protect the descendants of Surabhi, who can give all protection to men by supplying the miracle food, milk. Right? So this is meant for human being. And look what human beings have done. It's like the golden egg, golden egg which laid the goose which laid the golden egg. The foolish man thought in his advancement that I will cut off the head of the goose because the head of the goose needs so much of food, Why I just need the bottom part of the goose, which is giving the egg, the golden egg. So out of his foolishness and stupidity, he killed the goose, which laid the golden egg. So that's what we are doing now. We are perpetrating the cycle of horror upon that very creature, which is meant to give sustenance and life to human beings. Right. So Prabhupada continues, for protecting the cows and Brahminical culture, the Lord, who is very kind to the cow and the Brahmanas, Guru Brahmana Hityacha, will be pleased with us and will bestow upon us real peace. Therefore, there is a need for society to protect the cows and the Brahmanas, Brahminical culture, right? So Prabhupada says, we must try to see the cows and the bulls happy in all respects. Foolish people do not know how one can how one earns happiness by making the cows and bulls happy. But it is a fact by the law of nature. So this is what needs to be done. If we want peace in society, we need Brahminical culture. And without Brahminical culture, there cannot be cow protection. They are both, they are both, it's like a cycle, it's like a chicken and egg. Brahminical culture supports cow protection, and cow protection in return supports Brahminical culture. Both are interdependent upon each other. You cannot have Brahminical culture without cow protection. You cannot have cow protection without Brahminical culture, right? But what do they mean by cow protection? So this needs to be understood properly and correctly. Why? Because we are in Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga, everything is corrupted and everything is politicized and everything is flawed. So we have to understand exactly what is meant by cow protection. Prabhupada mentions to keep some cows. Never mind, we have to take payment from others. That is not cow protection. So in Kali Yuga, what happens? People, they use religion for various purposes. Currently you see religion has become very, very commercialized. People sell all kinds of things in the name of religion, right? They do business in the name of religion. Many, many, many business. Oh, I have created a special Lakshmi Muligai Sambrani or something, which if you put, you will get auspicious blessings of Lakshmi Devi. So, or if you buy this chakra, you buy this, you put this in your altar, you'll get this, you'll get that. It has become super commercialized. It doesn't work that way, right? So, and people fall for it. People do it, go spend lots of money, right? And or some in India particularly, somebody simply has to have one 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 statue or one kind of murti, and they call it their devata or something, and this devata is very powerful. And all they have to do is set up a line. Okay, now you set up a line. I will cover this deity with cloth. You have to set up a line. You want to see this special deity, you pay me this much of money. You come through this, and I will give you a quick darshan, and then after that, I'll give you some blessing, and then you can leave. So in this way, the line forms, and people start to make money out of this. So the same thing is happening with crop protection also. Prabhupada is saying, oh, some people now some people in Hindu dharma, they have become very they have understood about crop protection. Oh yes, it's becoming very popular now. So let me think how I can make money out of this. Let me collect a few cows and keep them, and then I will ask people for money, and then I will say, I'm doing cow protection, give me some money. So Prabhupada says, it is not cow protection. So Prabhupada gives a clear indication. Oh, we have to keep some cows. Never mind, we have to take payment from others. That is not cow protection. What is cow protection then? Cow protection means the society has to change. It means like Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's tending the cows. Cows have to be tended, right? He's going, taking the cows personally from his royal palace, going to the forest the whole day, working there. Did not cowherd boys, right? They've taken some little fruit. Mother provides whatever fruit the children, for the people who are tending the cows. They are playing that way. That is cow protection. Cow protection means, in other words, one takes care of the cows, one grazes the cows, bring the cows for grazing, give the cows natural grass which is growing free, right? And some protection, right? Give some medicines here and there. So that is real cow protection. Not simply you gather some few cows. Prabhupada is not going to say what is not cow protection. It's like, this is, you can see in Krishna's pastimes, he herds the cows. If somebody is doing like this, at least keeping one, two cows, right? And finding products of the cows for the pleasure of the deities. The cow's milk, the cow's ghee, the cow's product being provided for the pleasure of the deities or the devotees, right? then it is natural cow protection. On the other hand, what happens now, there's a lot of politicizing. Prabhupada makes a clear statement. Not that somebody will give money and we shall keep some class cows, feed there, become cow protector. We must tend the cows very nicely so that they will give us sufficient milk. And with that milk, we shall live. It's not that we become beggars. We keep some 3 cows, 4 cows, 5 cows, 10 cows, 50 cows, or whatever. And then we start asking people for money. Please give money, please give money, please give money. But do not provide milk. They do not do anything, right? So that is not cow protection. But no, because we are giving protection to cow, we send money for the cows and the cow protector and earn money there and give us money. We shall eat nicely and sleep. So the cow protector will collect all this money and he will eat nicely and he will sleep and he will give the cows natural grass and natural leftover things, which anyway is not very expensive. In this way, we'll go on practicing. As soon as this practice is going on, next will be give me some LSD, give me something else. This will go on. We don't want that. Prabhupada makes a very clear, emphatic statement about what is real cow protection and what is not. So you have to be careful. In Kali Yuga, these things are happening. So you can see there are many books written on cow protection and politics, political ideologies explained with cows and so on. It's not new. Even during Krishna's time, there was cow politics. Duryodhana stole the cows from the Matsya kingdom in order to try to flush the Pandavas out so that he can push them, send them back to the forest. So he used the cows for that purpose. And this is nothing new. Now also it's happening, right? So therefore, we have to be very careful where the money goes. If the money is being used in the name of cow protection, all kinds of things are happening. So that has to be carefully looked into. So now going back into the conversation between Sutta Goswami and the Sanaka Rishi and the sages, Sutta Goswami continues. Maharaj Parikshit, well equipped with arrows and bows, and seated on a gold embossed chariot, the Shudra, with Mega Gambhirya Vacha. When we come across such cheaters, such people like this Shudra king who is attacking the bull and the cow and doing these kind of terrible things, a proper Kshatriya or a proper administrator or a proper leader will not keep silent. Immediately, he will get down with his weapons, ready for a fight, right? He spoke to him with Mega Gambhirya Vacha, voice with a deep voice like thunder, right? Mega means like thunderclouds. Gambhirya means very deep and very resonant Vacha, voice. He addressed him. What he said? He addressed him. Oh, who are you? You appear to be strong, yet you dare kill within my protection those who are helpless. Abalan. Abalan means those who are helpless. This poor cow and the bull, they are helpless. And this personality looks like a very strong person, and yet he dares to kill those who are helpless. That is one of the dharma. When somebody is strong, the dharma is automatically he should protect the weak. He should not take advantage of the weak or exploit the weak. So that is adharma. So here, first mistake. Actually, many mistakes. The first mistake is this person is strong looking, powerful looking, but he is exploiting the weak, helpless. Maharaj Parikshit here challenges Kali. This is Kali personified. So by your dress, your Veshana, by your dress, by your Vesha, you choose yourself to be a Naradeva. So this is the second offense. So these in Kali Yuga, all this is happening. People will dress like a king, or will dress like a leader, or will dress like a very advanced spiritual person, or whatever it is. They will pretend in this way. So simply the dress, the vesha, right? They will pose themselves to be something which they are not. By your deeds, karmana, you are adi jaha. So this can be seen. How can we identify the cheaters? By scrutinizing their actions, their deeds, not by what they say, not by what they pretend or what they display. That can be easily done by looking and scrutinizing carefully their deeds. This is the second offense by this personality of Kali. He dressed up something else which he is not. Is revealed by the deed. The thing is not supposed to what deed is that? Deed is attacking the cow and the bull. Somebody who's dressed like a king should not be doing that. He should be protecting them, but he is attacking them. So that is revealed. You rogue, you dare beat an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Gandiva Dhanvana are out of sight. Gandiva Dharmana is one who carries the Gandiva bow. Who's that? Arjuna, right? Do you dare to do this simply because you don't see authority? So this is also what Kali Yuga does, right? When they don't see anyone who is protecting, when they don't see a strong leader, when they don't see a strong leader or a protector, they will immediately take exploitation. This will happen. So semblance of strength needs to be shown in Kali Yuga. Even though we do not exploit, so semblance of strength is needed. So are you doing this because the Lord is not here or because his devotees are not here? You rogue, since you are, so that is the offense, right? Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, this area is a secluded place where there's nobody to see, nobody to bear witness. So that's also another offense, right? To go to a hidden, in public, they will speak or they will act in a different way, but in private, in a secluded place, they will commit all kinds of heinous activities. So they have, yeah, this king has been caught red-handed, right, in a secluded place. So that's the fourth offense. You are considered a culprit, therefore, and deserve to be killed, right? Prabhupada gives a comment. For a pious king, culprit who kills an animal in a secluded place is punishable by death penalty. Exactly like a murderer who kills an innocent child in a secluded place. So, if at all an animal is to be killed in the Vedic times, it was done as per the Vedic scriptures in a yajna. And this yajna did not cause himsa. When the animal is killed, this animal is actually, by the power of the Vedic mantra, is given a fresh, new, young body to elevate its evolution of species. You know, the animals will, the soul actually goes from lower species to higher species until it comes to the human being. So when an animal is killed in the various sacrifices, this animal loses its body and it's elevated immediately to a higher, much higher species very quickly. So it's benefited actually. So, but in Kali Yuga, animal sacrifices are prohibited. One of the injunctions in Kali Yuga. But still, there are Tamasa Guna Puranas which allow some forms of animal sacrifices for those in a mode of ignorance only, not in a mode of goodness. Sacrifices in the mode of goodness that involve animals are prohibited completely in Kali Yuga. Only those sacrifices in the mode of ignorance is somewhat allowed in Kali Yuga. So therefore, you will find in some of the, the tantras and the lower Puranas, sacrifices meant for animals, especially for the flesh eaters. This is meant for those flesh eaters who cannot give up their position, but something is allocated for them. So some injunctions are given to them so that they, if they want to eat meat, they are allowed to sacrifice a goat. And during the Amavasya period, when the moon is not visible, so there's no witness by the celestial bodies. And then also by whispering the word Mamsa to say to the goat that I'm killing you, in the future you can kill me. So in this way, they sacrifice the goat and they offer the goat to the goddess Kali, and then they eat So, but it's only allowed once a month. But and in this way, they still suffer the karma. But because they follow the scripture, which is meant for them, at least in their next life, they get a better birth after suffering the karma. They go through their karma anyway for killing the goat. But nevertheless, they are benefited a little. So these kind of things is given, but at least it's done in a sacrifice in a public place. But to sacrifice in a private place, in a secluded place, it is heinous. It is not allowed. It is equivalent to a murderer who kills an innocent child in a secluded place. So that's the equivalent karma one may get. Robert continues, elected show model executive heads as representative of a degraded public cannot be equal with a strong king like Maharaj Parikshit. All this happens. Why all this happens? Because we don't have leadership. Our government, our society is not religious in this aspect. So all this is allowed. There is no strong devotee leader. Why? Because so currently we have this system of democracy. Prabhupada calls it demon crazy. Why? Because it is the majority, right? Democracy is nothing more than mob rule. Mob, no? Where 51% of the people may take away the rights of the other 49%. So it's simply a matter of, you can see this picture. So if you, who has a bigger group, the bigger group wins, no matter what their requirements are. So it's nothing to do with religiosity. It is nothing to do with dharma. It is simply to do with volume. Who is the higher population? That's all. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas are called twice born because for these higher classes of men, there is one birth by parental conjugation and there is another birth of cultural rejuvenation by spiritual initiation from the bona fide acharya or spiritual master. So, as I said, society is in darkness because they only take one birth. So, there needs to be Brahminical culture, where we take our second birth by knowledge, right? So, just like the word Dvija also means bird. Why bird? Because bird also takes two birth. The word Dvija means twice born, one who's born twice. Who is born twice? A bird, right? The first birth of a bird is an egg. First, the egg is is uh, is produced. That's the first birth. But the creature within the egg is in darkness, right? The egg is like a shell. He doesn't know anything. He's in darkness. And then it grows, and finally the egg hatches, and then the bird is outside, and he blinks and he sees the entire world. He sees everything then, right? So in the same way, human beings are also meant to be dvijas, right? Not everybody may be dvija, but at least they should be led by a dvija. In this way, every other member of society, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, the Shudra, will be benefited because they are led and guided by the Dvija. What is Dvija? The first birth of the human is seminal birth. The semen and the ovum combine, and the fetus, the zygote, and then the fetus is produced, and then a baby. It's in ignorance. They remain in ignorance until they get their second birth, which is knowledge. So therefore, it is said that the father is the spiritual master, the guru, and the mother is the Gayatri mantra, which is the knowledge. So in this way, the person takes the second birth and he opens his eyes to the words of God, to understand scripture. And in this way, his vision becomes purer. It becomes pure. It's not contaminated, the vision. So his understanding, his vision, his intelligence, it's not contaminated. So he's able to know and do and act according to what's really best for society, not simply blindly doing this and doing that and doing that. So the Brahmana Kshatriyas are called twice born in this way. No one can expect justice or equality of treatment from once born lower class men. People who are only once born, who do not know higher transcendental knowledge, who are not trained in spiritual culture of the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? They cannot understand what is really right, what is really beneficial for society. So what's democracy all about? Democracy, majority of the people are from this category, right? And therefore we choose our leader according to this understanding. And what else can we expect? Can we expect justice or equality of treatment when we ourselves are not cultured spiritually? Therefore, the people's government by the people who are not firstborn must be a government of Kali in which everyone is unhappy. So this is the situation we are all in. And Maharaj Parikshit asked the bull, "Oh, who are you?" Okay, so initially he spoke to Maharaj Parikshit spoke to Kali, right? He was chastising Kali, right? Now Maharaj Parikshit he also speaks to the bull. This is the proper conduct of a righteous king or a judge or a leader. They don't only stop, they also want to find out what happened. They want to make inquiry and they want to pacify those who are harmed, those who are oppressed. So Maharaj Parikshit then addresses the bull. Uh, oh, who are you? Are you a bull white as a white lotus? Maharaj Parikshit is astounded to see the beauty of this bull. Even though the bull was in such a terrible situation, but the bull was as white as a lotus. Are you a deva? Are you a demigod? Come here. Right? What an amazing sight. So Maharaj Parikshit inquires of Dharma. He begins to ask Dharma questions, which is right. In such a situation, one should ask questions to find out what is happening. One shouldn't blindly just act. Before he chastised his Kali, he wanted to make sure, am I really chastising the right person? Do I understand the situation correctly? All this we can understand and learn from our scriptures. Oh, Dharma, you have lost three of your legs and are moving only on one. Right? So, as I mentioned, three of the legs, Sautam, Daya, and Tapa. Purity, cleanliness or purity, austerity, and mercy are all destroyed in the age of Kali. Only Satyam, and that also it's only hobbling. Are you some demigod causing us grief in the form of a bull? Maharaj Parikshit, a soft-hearted devotee, although he is king, his heart bleeds to see the condition of this king, of this bull. And then he continues. He explains why he is so grieved. Now, for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. So for a king, this is the worst thing. He doesn't want to see anyone suffering. Nobody should be suffering. Nobody should be in want. So when a king sees anything like that in his kingdom, then that is the worst thing for him. Same thing for a leader. Same thing for an administrator. He wants to see everything goes well in his situation, right? So I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Oh, such a beautiful dharma. You are such a beautiful bull. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. So such was King Parikshit Maharaj, who was such a king. Hmm. And what to speak of of this wondrous personality who is now crying in such a miserable situation. So Parikshit Maharaj is aghast. He feels, oh my God, I have failed. Oh Saurabhya, oh mother, oh son of Surabi, descendant of Surabi. This is the meaning, Saurabhya. We need lament no longer. So Maharaj Parikshit immediately assuages, reassures the bull, right? This is what one does when somebody sees one in situation like this, he assures that person, right? There's no need to fear. There's low class Shudra. And oh mother cow, so he also addresses the cow also, not just the bull, right? As long as I am living as the ruler, as long as I am living as the ruler, and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Enviousness is a big problem, right? Many other ill things one could bear, but envy is a very difficult thing to tolerate. It burns in a person's heart, and the person will not let go the envy, and it continuously harasses the object of that envy. So if people in general are envious, it creates a very hellish situation in general. So everything will be good for you. He assures both the cow and the bull. Worry, will give you protection. And he addresses the cow. Who chased one, Sadhvi? Maharaj Parikshit continues to talk to Dharini. King's good name, Kirti. Kirti means fame. King's good name is longevity or ayu, right? And good rebirth, his option of opportunity to have a good birth in his next life, or bhagavati, a proper situation in his next life, all depend upon, all vanish when all kinds of living beings, praja sarvas, are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. This is the responsibility of a king. You can see how important it is. If somebody takes up the position of a leader or an administrator or as a king, right? His fame, his longevity, and his future destination in his next life all depends on how well he protects his dependents. Then it continues. It is certainly the Rajnam pro dharma, ultimate duty of a Raja. Rajam pro dharma, ultimate dharma of a Raja. Subdue first sufferings of those who suffer. This is the ultimate main duty of a king or a leader or an administrator, right? He needs to protection, to subdue the sufferings of those who suffer. And how does he do that? Therefore, I must kill this most wretched man, Asatvam, because he is violent against other living beings. This is violence against other living beings. It's called Druham, Droham. Droham against other living entities. How will he assuage and protect the innocent? By killing and subduing the miscreants who are causing himsa or droham to other living entities. This is the main goal of a Kshatriya, right? Prabhupada mentions the protection of the lives of both the human beings and the animals, the first and foremost duty of a government. A government must not discriminate in such principles. No Bhumiputra, no, not only no Bhumiputra, whatever, human being or animals, both must get the equal treatment. As the wild animal is killed, it creates disturbance. Similarly, any man unnecessarily kills or terrifies the jungle animals, other animals must be punished at once. One doesn't discriminate. The king protects the lives of all those who depend upon him in his kingdom, which includes the animals as well. We have heard of this earlier in Yudhishthira Maharaj, in the earlier chapters, in glorification of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, O Saurabhya, a descendant of Surabhi, who has cut off your 3 legs? So now he's addressing back the bull. Maharaj Parikshit inquires further. In the state of the kings, Rashtra Rajyam, a kingdom obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is no one as unhappy as you. So Maharaj Parikshit is asking, oh Dharma, he doesn't know yet this is Dharma, oh bull, oh wonderful personality, who has cut off your 3 legs? In a righteous kingdom, in a God-fearing kingdom, in a kingdom of people who are pious. No one should be unhappy, and now you are unhappy. So Maharaj Parikshit is saying this to the. So tell me, who has cut off your three legs? Now this is interesting because Parikshit Maharaj came across the scene where that personality of Kali is seen caught red-handed attacking bull, attacking the bull and the cow. He saw it firsthand with his eyes, but still he is asking the bull, who has done this to you? So in justice, one cannot just depend on one source of evidence. One has to look at multiple sources of evidence before he can assure himself that he has come to the truth. So we can see this is the ideal behavior of a king or a leader or an administrator. Oh, Prabhupada gives a comment. The tiger can kill a lower animal for his subsistence, but a man not kill an animal for his subsistence. That is the law of God. Has created the law that all living beings subsist by eating another living being. In the material world, that's how things work. In the material world, everyone uses another person in order to get what they want. It's like the big fish eats the smaller fish, which eats the smaller fish, which eats the smaller fish. So everything works that way in this material world. At the same time, however, there is dharma. There is certain rules to be followed in order to ensure there is peace in society so that there is no chaos. In animal kingdom, they get to do what they want. But even in animal kingdom also, will only attack what is necessary, what they require. When a tiger is full, it won't simply attack creatures. It won't simply kill. It only kills when it is hungry. Otherwise, it will leave it alone. But human beings, on the other hand, are different, right? So, therefore, we all of us have our dharma. Animals are given their particular dharma of what they can eat. We are also given our particular dharma of what we can eat. And what can human beings eat? Human beings are meant to be vegetarian. Therefore, we have to be vegetarian. Prabhupada says the vegetarians also living by eating other living beings. So somebody may say, hey, you vegetarian, but you're also killing what? You're killing plants. Therefore, but killing a plant is very different compared to killing an animal, isn't it? Animals have feelings, animals have empathy, animals cry, animals feel sad. Don't believe? Just go and look at a dog, look at any animal. Animals have so many things in the videos nowadays about how animals behave. The animals have emotions. They feel pain. They bleed. They have families. But plants don't, right? So then people say, but you're still killing. You're still killing. So therefore, the law is that definitely we have to kill something to live. We have to take something. We have to take something from another living being. Therefore, one should live only by eating specific living beings as ordained by the law of God. So, human beings are meant to eat only plants. So, Prabhupada mentioned this. In Ishopanishad, it directs that one should live by the direction of the Lord and not at one's sweet will. Oh, why I should follow? I'll do whatever I want. No. Ishopanishad says if you do whatever you want, then you are a thief. And you will have to go through karma. Right? That's the verse, right? The second verse. Isha Vasya idam sarvam matkicha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena gunjita ma grita kasya swet tanam. So Isha Vasyam Jagat Saram, every living being is given a quota. This person, you can only do this. That person can only do this. Human beings should be able to be given this quota. For tiger, given its own food quota. Somebody takes more than their quota, they become a thief. Right? One should not take more. One should not take more than what is necessary. One should only take what is necessary, one's subsistence, according to scripture. And what does scripture say? Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yome Bhakti Prayachati, right? So if we are serious in devotional service, one should pick only Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, fruits, flowers, leaves, grains, milk, many things, right? Oh Vrisha, oh bull, you are offenseless and thoroughly honest. Sadhuna, right? The bull, sadhu. For I wish all good to you. Brahmaha, Parikshit Maharaj wishes all good for the king or the leader or the authority, should wish all beneficence for those who are sadhus. They are protectors of the sadhu. Please tell me of the perpetrators. So see, this is what they do. Please tell me, not simply just I will protect, I will protect. You will seriously take action. Right? Please tell me the perpetrator of these mutilations which blacken the reputation of the sons of Pita, the Pandavas. Pita is the Pita is the mother of what do you call the mother of the Pandavas. So the sons of Pita are Parthanam. Kunti Devi is Pita. So another name, her birth name is Pita. So the sons of Pita are Parthanam. You know, Arjuna's name is sometimes called Partha. So Parthanam, all the sons of Kunti Devi, the Pandavas. So this situation that I'm seeing is blackening the image and the reputation of the sons of the Pandavas. I cannot tolerate to see you in this situation. Please tell me the perpetrator, name them, and I will do the necessary. I'll give you all protection. Whoever causes offenseless living beings to suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. This is the ideal leader, Kshatriya, or administrator. This is what they must do. That's their prime duty. Administration comes next. Prime duty is to first protect. But in Kali Yuga, people want only to administration. When it comes to protection, they run away. They don't want to do anything. They take a cowardly path. So they will suffer the karma. By curbing a sadhu, one automatically benefits sadhunam. How does he protect? The Kshatriya or the leader or the protector, he stops the ashadhu, those who are ashadhu, those who are demonic, curbing them by giving them, by protecting them, keeping them at a boundary. One automatically benefits the sadhus, making sure that such miscreants do not come. Prabhupada says dishonest miscreants flourish because of cowardly and impotent executive heads of state. Not only heads of state, heads of anything. Even heads of societies. An upstart living being who commits offenses by torturing those who are offenseless shall be directly uprooted by me, even though he be a denizen of heaven. Even though he is an amrityasyapi, one who has tasted amrita, it means the demigods, because they have drunk the amrita given by Mohini Murti, right? And even though they have dazzling armor and decorations, they will need to fear me if they have tortured offenseless sadhus, right? So this is the mood of Parikshit Maharaj, the pure sadhu, Raja Rishi. So Prabhupada says the state executive head must be strong as Maharaj Parikshit, so that he may be determined to punish the strongest offenders. He was not falsely proud. He made a vow, right? Even if it is a demigod, even if it's a great personality, he will still chastise that person. But Parikshit Maharaj wasn't falsely proud. The devotee of the Lord is equally as powerful as the Lord, or sometimes more powerful by his grace. Sometimes the Lord will pretend to lose in a battle, so to glorify his devotees. In the fight between Parashuram and Bhishma, this is what happened. Parashuram, Bhishma, they came to a draw. Bhishma was almost going to defeat Parashuram, but the situation came to a draw. So, but it was by the grace of the Lord. The Lord sometimes wants to glorify his devotees very much. Right? So, In any promise made by a devotee, it may be ordinarily very difficult to fulfill, properly executed by the grace of the Lord. We have seen many examples of this in the Mahabharata. Bhishma's promise, Arjuna's promise, Yudhishthira's promises, all these are fulfilled by the Lord. Rajno hi paramo dharma. Rajno hi paramo dharma. Param dharma, the ultimate duty of a Raja or leader or administrator, is to give all protection. So again, it is repeated, this point. Twice it is repeated within this chapter. Is to give all protection to the law-abiding persons, swadharmastha, those who are law-abiding, those who are doing their duty without problem. The protection of the king should be there for those who are doing their duty, and to chastise those who stray away from the ordinance of Shastra. They have to be very vigilant and careful, see who is deviating from Shastra, and then they must give due chastisement. So that is the duty of a king, because that's very dangerous. When someone deviates from Shastra, he can easily deviate other people also. So they must be checked immediately. In ordinary times, when there is no emergency. So, what is the comment? The scriptures there is mention of apa dharma. There is several types of dharma. There is swadharma, dharma or religiosity or duty on a normal time when there is in a normal situation. But there is also apa dharma in an emergency situation or in a situation which is very unique. So then there is a certain different dharma at that time. For example, human beings are meant to be vegetarians, but in a situation where there is no food, when the person may die, if there is no food, he is allowed to eat meat, but only in that certain situation and under certain circumstances. So there are examples in the scripture, like Vishwamitra at one point of time had to eat meat of a dog in order to survive. There was a particular very special situation. I don't know the full details of the story, but Prabhupada mentions it. So there is apat dharma. In certain emergency situations, certain things may happen. Like even Prabhupada. Prabhupada, when he came, he saw Kali Yuga is like this. So he gave initiation to women. Even before that, initiation to women wasn't given. Only the men take initiation and the women are serving the men. But in Kali Yuga, there is independence of women and men, and that culture is already very much ingrained in society. So he saw that this is not possible. So he has to give mercy to everyone. So therefore, he gave mercy to women as well. And in this way, so this is apat dharma. So it may be necessary in certain circumstances, in certain situations. So the Acharya can do that. We cannot do that. The Acharya knows how to set the right, how to choose and select the right set of instructions according to time, place, and circumstance. So this is the nature of, this is what an Acharya can do. But is there, in the scriptures, there are given situations for Apatta. So this is what happened. We will stop here, right? So the crime scene was established. We heard how Maharaj Parikshit challenged Kali, how Maharaj Parikshit reassures Dharma and Dharani and conducts an inquiry, right? And Dharma's response in naming the aggressor. So after this, we will hear Dharma's reply. And I tell you, it is an extremely interesting conversation. The reply that Dharma, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Dharma, who is the perpetrator? Who did this to you? When it's so obvious, But Dharma's reply is simply is amazing. When I first read Bhagavatam, when I first heard this reply, I was flabbergasted. I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is far out. I was simply amazed by the response. In my opinion, I feel this is one of the most amazing responses, one could give. And then many, many things we can learn from the response of Dharma, the bull. The personification of religion gives an amazing response to Parikshit Maharaj's question. And it serves as a wonderful example for us to introspect and to also emulate in our lives. So we will hear that in our next session. So not today, right? Stay tuned. Most extraordinary response will follow next. Today we will end with Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Any questions, anyone? Any doubts or clarifications? Anything you'd like me to explain a bit more, or anything which you don't agree? Feel free. Any questions are welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Happy to see you again.
I thought you were supposed to be in India.
Yeah, I came back. Came back on Monday.
Oh, very good. Prabhu, this now this is the sign of Kali. This chapter 17 chapter 17 is elaborating on the beginning of Kali, is it?
It's talking about, yeah, Kali is mentioned here. We will hear more and more about Kali in the further chapters. But it's beginning to talk about Kali. What are the symptoms that will come in Kali Yuga? More detailed information will come later on.
Yeah, because Parikshit Maharaj haven't go deeper to the Kali, is it?
Yes.
Maybe next season I have more questions, Prabhu.
Especially chapter 8, chapter 17, 18, 19, 20, all will be about Kali. We will hear so much, all the things that will happen. Some of the things will be similar to what has been mentioned. It will go in more detail, but we will also not only hear about what is happening, we will also hear about the solutions. And that is more important, how to deal with these situations. And mainly this chapters is basically trying to glorify, because the Sutta Goswami, the Saunaka Rishis, they asked 6 questions, right? One of the things they asked was they wanted to know more about the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Sukadev Goswami. They wanted to know about the person listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Parikshit Maharaj. And that's why we are talking about Parikshit Maharaj now. We want to establish what kind of a person Parikshit Maharaj is and everything. What was his glories, what all he did. And then later, the other question is, they want to know what kind of situation was there where Bhagavatam was revealed. In what situation was Srimad Bhagavatam revealed to the world? So it's this descriptions of Parikshit Maharaj will eventually lead to a situation of what happened to Parikshit Maharaj, and then it will describe how Sukadev Goswami came into the picture and what situation happened that Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. So all this will be coming in the next following chapters, which will end Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1.
So, sorry, Prabhu, sorry. So that, sorry, the grandchildren are making noise. Excuse me. Prabhu, so this Kali Yoga, so far 5,000 years finished. It's not so bad. What do you mean? So
Yeah.
future will be very, very dark.
Yeah.
Future will be very, very dark. That means that it will be worse, is it?
Yeah. If you see in Canto 12, Srimad Bhagavatam, it will describe more detail about at the end of Kali Yuga. You know, when Kalki Avatar is coming, at the time when Kalki Avatar is coming, it will say how people in Kali Yuga, they will only live up to 20-something years old only, it seems. And by 20-something, it's considered very old. We will have white hair by 15, 10 years old, white hair will come already. And people will eat, many descriptions. That's at the end of Kali Yuga. So yes, it's going to get worse, but there is a reprieve. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, and he began the golden age of Kali Yuga. So within Kali Yuga, there is a torchlight, a beam of light. It's like a torch which will shine, which now it's at the moment flickering and moving on, but it is growing brighter and brighter and brighter, and it will shine like a beacon for the next 10,000 years. So we are all part of that movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began that movement 500 years ago, and it's ascending. Every town and village will chant the holy names of the Lord. It's described. It will look like as if this is like a Satya Yuga within Kali Yuga, almost. But it will only last for 10,000 years. So Srila Prabhupada mentions many times, my books, Srimad Bhagavatam, not my books, it's Krishna's narration. Srimad Bhagavatam will be the law books for the next 10,000 years to shed light for everybody. After that, there will be some problems, issues, and everything will go dark, and the degradation of Kali will become very horrible. So we really don't want to take birth during this time. So let us take advantage of this movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, Prabhu, hope that answers.
My goodness. It's very scary anyway. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
You can see now itself, so many horrible things are happening already. So the hope is the speaking of the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada gave us these two, Srimad Bhagavatam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and there are pure devotees in this world. Simply by taking these three, the hope is there for this world. It will change. Okay, Prabhu, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Nothing else? Right, so as usual, feel free to put them in the WhatsApp or send me a message. I'm happy to answer them. Right. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you, Harimol. Thank you, Ba. Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.